Our next speaker will be joining us from Tehran, Yasmin Hanifa. Yasmin was imprisoned for visiting the tomb of Cyrus the Great.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. With my greetings, my name is Yasmin Hanifa and I'm a political prisoner in Iran, and I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I was arrested on 7/98 or 29 of October 2019 on my way to Pasargad on Cyrus the Great Day. A few kilometers before we arrived, about 50 of security forces, uniformed forces, attacked me and my car. And they physically hurt me and took me to a desert and interrogated and tortured me for 11 hours. And finally, Fars Province Attorney General visited me and informed me that I was charged with leading a terrorist group I was accused of. So, they transferred me in a sack blindfolded to Ibn prison 209 section about 3 a.m., 3 after midnight. All my friends were released a few hours later, but they lied to my friends that I was released also. Nobody knew where I was or what happened to me, not even my family. They kidnapped me. Islamic Republic kidnapped people. At the time, I had no idea where I was because I couldn't see anywhere or anyone. But I was in 219 section in a solitary cell. There was a projector light always on. There was no daylight. I was under interrogating and torture hours a day. And they told me I was going to get executed and I was a terrorist like Abdul Malik Regi. And if I confess, I'll get released from pain. It wasn't just white torture, it was black torture, it was pure torture. They inflicted too much physical and mental pain on me. They insulted me too much. They told me I have to give them, I must give them all details of my private life. There are so many things I can't even tell. I lost about 10 kilograms there. I lost my heart. After a month, my mom saw me. I was like an skeleton. I was 47 kilograms. They put too much pressure on me to give in, to interview, to collaborate, like a television interview, like so many others before, but I didn't give in. So finally, after months, I got released on a bail of 800 million tomans. But harassment and interrogating and summonments continued. My trial was last summer, 2020, on 26th branch of Revolutionary Court in Tehran. And I was sentenced to 1 year in prison ward and 4 months of forced labor in a healthcare institute. And they didn't even give me a written verdict. They forced me to write the verdict, and if I protest, they told me they're going to keep me there. So I went to prison ward, but harassment and interrogating continued. They forced me to oblige. They wouldn't engage in any political activity or meet my friends, but I didn't give in and I didn't write anything. I went on a strike for 4 months. I had no meeting and phone calls and no contact with outside world because they told me they have opened me another case because of things I said to my friends on the phone, on the prison phone. So I went on a strike for 4 months. That it was literally like a torture. It is hard to not have a phone call for 4 months and no meeting with anyone, but I did it. I didn't give in because I'm a revolutionary person. I don't give in. Thanks for your time and goodbye.
Did we lose the video? Or is it over? It's over. Okay. Thank you. It was a little abrupt. Okay. He is a political prisoner and activist, Mr. Heshmat Tabarzadi.
خانم ها و آقایان، درود بر شما باد. من میخوام در مورد نقض حقوق بشر در قانون و عملکرد
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I want to briefly discuss human rights violations that are inherent in the laws of Velayat Faqih, which are currently the governing principles in Iran. I am speaking to you as a journalist, human rights activist, and a political dissident residing in Iran. And I need to emphasize that essentially freedom of speech, equality of citizens' rights do not exist in Iran. Systematic violations of human rights of all sorts, be it gender inequality, linguistics discrimination, or religious practices disparity, are officially embedded in the Constitution of the Islamic Republic regime. There is no freedom of speech or freedom of choice. It is a system very much similar to that of the Taliban. For example, women cannot become presidents or judges, and their share of inheritance and blood money is half that of men. The law also discriminates against followers of other religions, such as the Baha'i faith, Christian converts, and Sufis, which is the Islamic mystic sects. I am a former political prisoner who did time for over 12 years in prison and spent nearly 3 of those years in solitary confinement. I was tortured and witnessed many others being tortured and executed. In Iran today, a small minority of population continue to support the regime and enjoy all the rights and privileges. The majority have no rights. In the recent so-called election, they announced Ibrahim Raisi, a proven uneducated murderer, to run while they disqualified some of their former accomplices. More than 90% of the population did not take part in the sham election. This regime is responsible for instability in the region and is a threat to the world. They take American and European citizens hostage and demand ransom for their release. Despite all these types of crimes, the United States and European governments continue to deal with this regime and tolerate its systematic violations of human rights. There are many people in Iran's prisons right now. They are kept in prison just for expressing their views and for opposing the Islamic Republic regime. I implore this honorable audience, particularly members of the media, to bring it to the attention of the world the brutality and viciousness of this regime against its own citizens. Now that the Iranian people have risen and launched their great national boycott movement, they expect the free world to hear their voices. Thank you.
هم به گوش جهانیان برسانید و محکوم کنید. مردم ایران انتظار دارن از دنیای آزاد، انتظار جدی دارن. حال که جنبش ملی تحریم رو به راه انداختن، صدای ملت ایران در سراسر گیتی شنیده بشه. پاینده باشید و برقرار. بدرود.
Thank you.
I woke in the dark, called out into the cold night. A voice from outside drew me away from the light.
Follow me now and never return to your door.
I'll go to the light, nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. All the colors of the dawn you'll find. All the colors of the dawn will remind you of someone who once was you, but madness is all